Doing your jobs every day. I'm the big bad ant. I'm riding the midnight train, A train of course. I'm with my men, Sam and Spoon. I am. Between Taorminas.
Well, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to Between Taorminas, the 2013 edition. I'm here with my boys, the Taormina boys. How we doing?
Did the world just end or are the Lions here?
What?
The world just ended.
It might be 2013, but I'm still at Lake Orion 2006 Pride.
You know it's not a sign of the apocalypse? The Lions went 4-12.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything is normal. Everything is as
Everything's
it should
normal.
be. So that's probably a good starting point for us this year, huh? The Lions?
Yep.
The Lions.
They were terrible.
The Lions were absolutely terrible. Let me start off the conversation this way. Did you see the graphic on ESPN that showed the top 10 draft picks, the draft order, right?
Yes.
With Kansas City through whoever, the Jets or whatever it is?
Detroit's 5.
Right. Did you see that on every single team except for pick number 5, either a GM, a coach, or a coordinator was fired?
Yep.
Except for
7?
No. Every single pick except for your Lions, no moves made.
It just bothers me because with the Lions, I mean, like, you know, they were 10-16 last year.
Yes.
They had a 6-0 start. They haven't been the same since.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you look at it here, I think the Lions, they need to start defensively
Right.
at a tipping point, especially in that linebacking core and that secondary core. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Time to start abandoning it.
Right.
What I would do, didn't they already said that 3 position areas were not going to be maintained?
Position coaches.
Yeah, position coaches.
Running back, wide receiver, and like tight end coach. All gone.
So all offense. What about your defense?
Don't
The
know.
defense was the ones that got killed.
Gutter Cunningham should be gone, in my opinion.
See, now Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator, what did he really have to work with? There's not a lot of talent on the defensive side. You want to make an argument for...
Other than Sue.
Right. Other than Sue, Fairley. You can make the argument that, what's his name? Safety,
I don't think Steven
Louis
Tulloch's
Delmas.
that good.
He's not that good, no.
I don't think Louis Delmas that good.
He's not that good, but he's got some
I also don't
talent.
think Chris Houston's that good.
He's okay. He's good.
Chris Houston's not that good.
He's okay.
He's
Chris
not.
Houston?
I mean,
I would say my view with Chris Houston, and I'm consistent with this, give him one more chance, see if he can pick somebody
Well, he's in a
better.
contract.
he's in a contract.
So you gotta
How
either
can
sign
you
him-
give Chris Houston one more chance when he's in a contract year? When you see him playing against people like Larry Fitzgerald, he got burned. Roddy White got burned.
Well, those are
Earl
also...
Bennett, he even got burned on one of those touchdowns. You know, he's had his chances. He's like a veteran Dre Bly. And we all know who Dre Bly is. Dre Bly was terrible. You know, if you look at what Dre Bly...
Is this called a segment?
He's Dre Bly. He's Dre Bly over again.
You really think that?
All right. So you don't like Chris Houston. So, all right.
I would say give him one more chance.
I don't give him any more chances.
You were in
He's
a
done.
ferocious debate, I remember.
He's done. I mean, like, if you look at what I think the Lions need to do, they need to draft Tail at 5, and then their second-round pick, they need to go draft maybe Johnny Adams, and then maybe in the third round, draft
Johnny
the
Adams?
Badgers. Yeah.
Johnny Adams.
Yeah, Michigan State. He's a good corner. And then you got third round, you got the Honey Badger. You got
How many
the Honey
times
Badger.
did Johnny Adams get burned this year? See, remember a Notre Dame game? Yeah, remember that? Oh, boy, yeah. Listen. About the coordinators, the coaches, because
Well, we know he don't like
the players
Chris
are
Houston.
what the players are. They're either
I'd
have
give Chris
talent or
Houston
they
one more
don't.
chance.
I think Steven Tulloch's got to go.
Tulloch, you just signed him. You got him for 3-4 more years.
Well, he's too small to be a middle linebacker.
Well, that's true. That's true.
He's too small.
So, Coordinator-wise, Gunther should be the only one that goes.
Gunther should need to go, and Linehan should go.
Okay, what about Schwartz?
Yes.
Gone?
No.
Yes.
What about Mayhew?
Yes.
Okay, in that order of those
Wow.
4 men, who do you most want to see gone?
Martin Mayhew.
Martin Mayhew.
Because he doesn't know, they can't know discipline. They don't know.
He's the man making the draft picks
Right,
as
he's
well.
not making the draft picks as well. You know, Jim Schwartz is also next because he's got to instruct discipline to those players, you know what I mean? And those players have violated the trust. You know, they've had numerous arrests. They've had numerous tickets, you know what I mean? Like,
Are you sure Jim Schwartz should go? I'd give him maybe one more chance because last year the Lions went to the playoffs, and if I understand the strike 1, strike 2, strike 3 policy, but you got to go with strike 1 and then you go forward with strike with it's one more year and he's gone.
No.
I say what this squad needs most is a really good draft, because you look at the draft picks, aside from the number 1 picks, who's worked out? Last year's number 1 didn't even work out. Riley Reif, did he play?
He played a little bit.
He played a little. You draft a guy number 1, your first pick, he's got to play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got to start.
Yeah, that's why you got to get rid of some offensive line.
Why in the world they went with a number 1 pick as a
Because
lineman?
Martin Mayhew wastes draft picks. He
Right.
does.
Right, exactly.
That's why he's got to
Didn't his
go.
predecessor Matt Millen waste draft picks?
He did too. I mean, like, this is like another Matt Millen all over again. It's Martin Mayhew.
So you're comparing Mayhew to Millen.
Those two guys are similar. Those two guys are complete losers.
But the only thing that they have is they both have double M's on their
Yeah,
names.
no, them better be fired soon.
All right, so if Mayhew doesn't give Gunther Cunningham good players, or Schwartz good people, good players to work with, shouldn't this all come back to the man at the top, Martin Mayhew?
Yeah.
What about William Clay Ford?
I think we'll address him later. Or somebody will address him later.
Yeah, somebody will address
All right, so that's my opinion. Mayhew should be the one gone
I think you need to
before
clean
anybody
house, blow
else.
it up.
Okay,
Clean house, blow it
you know,
up.
I can't argue with that.
You know, clean house, blow it up.
Lovie Smith got fired, for God's sakes, after
I
they went
wanna-
10-6.
I don't understand how he goes.
How did
10-6.
that happen?
Well, he didn't make the playoffs, and they started 7-1, and they didn't make the playoffs. That's pretty bad.
He'll get a job somewhere else.
You know where I'd like to give him a job?
Where?
Motor City. Defensive coordinator.
Could be possible.
That'd be great.
What about Andy Reid?
Andy Reid?
Andy Reid, Arizona coach.
I think Andy Reid needs to take a little time off, personally.
I think he's going to be the Cardinals coach.
All right, so any other issues at these Lions that can we put this thing to bed until, at least spring?
Time to clean house.
They're not
What
going to do
about
that. They're the
Stafford?
Lions. They're not going to do
What
that.
about Stafford?
Terrible year.
He had a terrible year.
Calvin Johnson, the only one that had a great year out of the whole bunch.
He didn't score a lot of touchdowns, though.
He had about he did break the NFL's.
He did, which was great, but it was all for nothing. Lions did nothing. Stafford,
Lost 8 in a row.
if he doesn't have another bounce back year next year, Lions are right back in trouble.
Yep.
This team lost 8 in a row.
Right.
Including to Arizona.
Including to lowly Arizona? Are you kidding me?
Tennessee.
And they lost 38-10? Unbelievable.
It was a butt kicking.
They lost to Tennessee. Yeah.
Yep.
Guys, we'll see you next year.
Yeah.
All right. Talk a little Big Ten when we come back here on Between Taorminas.
Prescription drug abuse is a national epidemic. The new in way to obtain drugs is through parents' or grandparents' medicine chests. Removing prescriptions from your cabinet is the best way to keep drugs out of the hands of our young people. We've got to work together to protect our teens, our seniors, and our environment. Clean out your medicine cabinet today. Please participate in Operation Medicine Cabinet and drop off your unwanted or expired prescriptions at one of our law enforcement drop-off sites in Oakland County. We can't ignore this situation anymore.
We own a Habitat home.
I love working on my Habitat home.
Soy dueño de una casa de Habitat.
My neighbor is a Habitat homeowner.
Being a Habitat homeowner has changed our lives.
My mortgage payment for Habitat is less than what I pay for rent.
Habitat for Humanity of Oakland County currently has homes available with mortgage payments lower than most rent payments. If you or someone you know needs decent and affordable housing, call 248-338-1843 or visit our website at habitatoakland.org.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on Orion Neighborhood Television. Boys, we go from depressing to more depressing. Let's talk about the B1G and the season they had.
We gotta find some way to be happy.
Well, you know what?
There's nothing to be happy about.
When spring training starts, then we can get
And
happy.
track season.
Track season, sure. All right. Based on expectation before the season started, before the college football season started, I would say, based on those expectations and the final result as of now, there's 3 teams in the Big Ten that had good years. 3. Ohio State went undefeated. Hang on. Penn State was supposed to be garbage, but they actually pulled it together. Northwestern.
Yeah.
They won a bowl. First time since 49.
1949.
So everybody else, Michigan State, Iowa, Wisconsin, all bad years. Michigan, bad year.
Well, if you look at the steeds of the Big Ten, I mean, like, it all starts at the top, unfortunately, and that has to go with Wisconsin because Wisconsin has been in 3 straight Rose Bowls,
Right.
and they've lost 3 straight Rose
Right.
Bowls. The Big Ten has not had a team win the Rose Bowl since 2010, when Ohio State, now vacated, won the Rose Bowl. You know, but I just look.
I don't think it should be. I don't think it's. It's technically vacated.
I mean, if you look at what the Big Ten has had to do, this year's Big Ten championship game, Wisconsin and Nebraska.
Oh,
Wisconsin dumped 70 on Nebraska, and yet they can't score 14 points. They only score 14 points against Stanford.
Right.
I mean, Stanford's a good defense, but
Yeah, Stanford, what were they, ranked 6th?
It makes you wonder what would the Big Ten have been like had Ohio State and Penn State been eligible for bowl games.
Definitely better. Because then you got to factor
Ohio State
in.
would be in the national championship game. Think about it, because they're unbeaten, not Alabama.
Then you got to factor in Penn State. Had none of this ever happened, they would have had all their old players, you know. And
Governor Corbett's suing the NCAA for for those sanctions.
I don't want to rehash old bits because what they did was bad, obviously. But yeah, you look at Michigan. Who did Michigan beat? Who did they beat? Northwestern on a Hail Mary.
Michigan's losses with Alabama, Notre Dame.
Both in the title game.
Yeah.
Nebraska, Ohio State,
the Big Ten title game.
and then, and then they lose to South Carolina last second touchdown. I mean,
Those aren't bad teams.
Those aren't bad
They're not
teams,
bad
but
teams.
They're not
Michigan's
bad teams.
Think
but
about
Michigan's defense, which is awful. You know what I mean? They didn't have a good year this year.
No, they didn't. Who are the good teams they beat? They beat Northwestern at home in a shootout on a Hail Mary, and they beat
Michigan
State on a field goal. They didn't even score a touchdown.
Yeah.
So
Those aren't those weren't bad teams.
they're not bad
Michigan
teams to
lost
lose to, but they didn't have good wins. They had
Michigan State, of course, this year had a
Michigan
really
State was
down
awful.
year offensively.
Offensively, they were awful.
as
they
bad
didn't
as
win
they
the bowl
were.
game.
As bad as they were, Michigan State went 7-6. Only 1 win more than U of M. So I would say
Look
they're
at
both
Michigan
bad.
State's losses. You know what I mean? They lost
After Iowa at
Iowa
home.
at home. I mean, like they lost to Nebraska. I mean, they've had at least
Nebraska close.
They've had at least 5 of those 6 games were by 13 points.
Right.
That is how close Michigan State lost.
Great defense, terrible offense.
Not a good offense. I think they're going to go with Connor Cook for the Big Ten
for next year.
For next year.
Really?
But a team that's really been disappointing, to be honest with you guys, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Because here you have
Your man, Bo Pelini, getting killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
You think the Lions are going to hire him now?
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe.
Well, here's why. Because, Nebraska had the black shirt defense. I know Carl Pelini left to go to Florida Atlantic. But they looked lost at times. They looked awful at times.
They looked okay in the B1G championship game.
They looked awful in the B1G championship game. I mean, like, one person from Lincoln called it probably the most tragic game in the history of Nebraska football. That's not in the Big 8, not in the Big 12. You know what I mean? This is, Like, this is Nebraska. And the way they lost.
You got to give
those
credit to
god-awful-
Northwestern, though. Northwestern had a great year
That's
this
the
year.
only team that had a great year was Northwestern.
Based on Northwestern's standards, though, they had a great year, right? If they were under Michigan standards, it wouldn't be a great year.
Got to give credit to Fitzgerald for what he did over
Sure,
there.
sure.
I mean, like, you know.
What about Minnesota? Another team we don't talk to. Yeah, they got killed. They lost, but
They lost a heartbreaker, but
Purdue got killed.
Minnesota,
got killed,
well,
yeah.
back to Northwestern. Northwestern is actually, like, you got to give props to Kane Coulter. Pat Fitzgerald's done a magnificent job over there in Evanston. I think if you look at it next year, maybe Northwestern might be it's going to be one of those
Ohio
upper echelon
State's
teams,
the
but Ohio
favorite in
State's
the
gonna be
Big
the team to
Ten.
beat.
Well, I'm not sure about what Northwestern
Unless
loses
Braxton
next year,
goes
but
pro.
you know,
He won't go
I don't
pro.
think so. Yeah, I think
They run a spread option offense, so Northwestern will be good in the
Ohio
long
State's
haul.
bowl eligible too next year,
Yeah.
correct? So they're going to be Braxton's going to want to stick around for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, another year with Urban Meyer. Oh boy, that's going to be scary.
Though that big game for them will
Well,
be in
Michigan
Ann
State
Arbor.
doesn't play Ohio State next year.
That's a good thing for
Good.
State.
Sure,
Good state
sure.
for Sparty.
So moving forward, do we think this was an anomaly? Like, do we think this was just something that it's not normal?
It's a
or do we
trend.
think
It's
the Big
starting to be a
Ten-
trend in the Big Ten where the
Just
Big
not
Ten
good.
is just simply struggling. I think a lot of people criticize the Big Ten for playing the mid-major opponents the way that they do.
Right.
Personally, I think it's not a bad thing. But, I mean, in terms of raising the bar and competition, they could look into maybe scheduling other big-time schools.
Well, would you like to see, the U of M Alabama matchup, that kind of thing, or the
Well,
State and
I
versus
think
Oregon?
for ratings they want it, but
when Maryland and Rutgers comes in, I don't know what credibility that's going to give them. But
None.
if you look at what
I prefer the
Big
mid-major
Ten,
match.
the Big Ten has suffered greatly, and I think they're going to continue to suffer if they don't play the Big Time opponents. You know what I mean? You look at the SEC.
I
Every
like
time
the
they play a
mid-major.
Big Time opponent, they always get all the hype.
But I like the
'cause they're all
mid-major
big-time
opponents
opponents.
because you look at it helps the mid-major teams get better too, and also Michigan teams like Michigan State and Michigan are paying
That's true.
paying money to get those teams in there to get those automatic wins and get those bowl games.
Sure,
so, I mean,
sure.
in terms of helping a mid-major team out, I don't mind playing them, but
But it
obviously it
cheapens the
does
product.
damage ratings.
Cheapens the product too,
Right.
I mean,
But
2
it
years
does
Michigan
damage
State
the
plays Alabama. I know that. 2
Right.
years they do.
Yep.
That's not going to be an easy game.
No.
So, looking forward to 2013, the fall. Big Ten, another bad year. Do we see some
Ohio
better?
State's going to fix the Big Ten. I think, you know what I mean? They'll probably be the top team in there. I think Michigan State, Michigan, Northwestern, Nebraska, I think they're going to be fine,
And Wisconsin, they don't have a coach.
Right.
And that's
It's
pretty
just-
bad.
They're going to change their whole offense. So from a power format to a spread format, that scares me with Utah State's coach coming in
Well,
to Madison.
okay, but you got to look at another knock against the Big Ten. You got a coach at Wisconsin, a big-time school, leaves to go to Arkansas in the SEC. That's pretty bad.
The
Yeah,
SEC
it
is a dangerous conference.
They are, but is Wisconsin now a stepping stone to a better job? You wouldn't think so in the past.
I wouldn't think
Maybe.
so, no.
I don't think so, but Barry Alvarez does such a good job over there.
Well, he's not coaching though.
No, he's not
Yeah, he's
coaching.
gonna-
He's done a good job as AD, but,
So anything else you want to say about the Big Ten here to wrap up? Another dismal year,
Let's see what happens.
another dismal subject.
let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Very insightful. All right, let's see what happens on the next segment when we come back here on Between Taorminas.
Please remember that CFL bulbs, those curly, energy-efficient light bulbs everybody is using to save electricity, shouldn't be thrown away in your trash. Neither should batteries or home medical sharps. You can check with your local community to see where they can be recycled. Some retailers will allow you to bring them in for recycling. You can also order simple kits online that allow you to collect your recyclables and simply mail them away to be properly recycled. This green tip was brought to you by your friends at Waste Management.
3 students were in the hospital this past weekend.
2 honor roll students were hospitalized last night.
5 local students lost their college scholarships last night.
Another local high school student has passed away.
Another 3 dead.
Claimed the life of another local teenager.
The cause?
Alcohol.
Alcohol. I don't want to be another number.
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 I don't want to be just another number.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas on ONTV. I want to talk about the third topic, which is Lake Orion and Clarkston.
Yeah, great topic.
Mm-hmm.
Big matchup Friday.
Big matchup.
In the Dragon's Den.
Mm-hmm.
Not the school store, but the gym.
Big matchup. What do you think about that?
Interesting matchup because, Clarkston's lost 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, Orion's coming off that big win over Romeo. I think if you look at it, it's going to be an interesting matchup. It's features one of the best players in Oakland County, of course, with Clarkson. Lake Orion's got 2 of the best players in Oakland County going against each other. You know what I mean? So,
well, I look at this matchup like this. It's going to be Orion's front line versus Clarkson's shooting. Mm-hmm. Pretty much that's what it's going to be about. Can Orion's defense contain Clarkson's shooters? Yes, Clarkson's got 2 guys 6'8". I like this matchup because it talks about depth and obviously the rivalry that exists there. Not just in football, but in basketball. It'll be
both sides are going to be packed. The low zone, the jungle. I mean, it's going to be a really entertaining game. I think it's going to be a close game. Mm-hmm. It'll be a good game, And also, weirdly enough, for a little spoiler alert, these 2 teams are going to meet in the postseason.
In the pre-district round, which is scary. Pre-district at Lake Orion. That's scary.
Sounds great.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a war.
We got you said close, but we got a result. What do you think?
I like Orion in this one because of the shooters can go cold and shooters are hot. You know what I mean? It depends on how you guard them defensively. I think if you look at it, the front line, if the front line comes through and plays well, I think Orion's got a good enough chance to win this game. I think it's going to be 2-3 points. I know Clarkson lost on with 5 seconds left against Troy. Troy, of course, this year has been a surprise story themselves, but I like Orion in this game by 3 points.
I think that Orion's got a lot to prove. I think the Andover game that they lost to recently woke them up. They got a pretty good win over Romeo, another team they could see in the district. I think that this will be a good stepping stone for them, especially because their schedule coming up is going to be very tough. They got to go to Adams. Mm-hmm. Adams is not a bad team. Then they got to go to Detroit Country Day, who's not going to be very easy, and then Seaholm, who's
to kick off the league play. And Seaholm's one of the better teams in the league, and also in the OAA for that matter. They're undefeated right now. So I would say that they get this. They need this for confidence, and we'll see what happens.
Cool, big stage Friday night. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think that about does it for the topic talk.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time for the first calls of the year. Tony?
I like movies. I like watching movies. I think some movies are good. I think some of the concepts are good. But at the same time, there's some movies I don't like. Especially when girls, no offense, when girls get kidnapped.
Ew, girls.
So my call out, damsels in distress. Oh my gosh, what the picture. Pat Ronan, I blame you for that picture.
I don't mind those girls.
Simple. Look, my viewpoint is I like when women are considered either heroes or even villains. I mean, yeah, I like a good woman villain.
You have a good strong personality.
But anyways, I prefer like a men hero, a man that, even a man with a damsel in distress.
Pardon?
Pardon?
How does that work?
Oh, God.
Anyways, it's just, I like movies. It's just, I have a tough time with seeing damsels in distress, Are you going
to do a new show?
Yeah.
Critics Corner with Anthony or something here?
Maybe. No.
Jeez.
All right, I'm done.
Are you done? Thank you. Guy I'm going to call out, of course, I've had a huge issue with this guy for a period of years, stretching back to the winless season. His name is William Clay Ford Sr. William Clay Ford Sr. Why? Let's look at it here with the record. You were there when back in, I believe it was 2008 when the Lions were let's see. You said that Matt Mel was the best general manager you had as the president and GM of the Lions. Are you kidding me? Are you? And now he's fired. You say
Thank
Martin
goodness.
Mayhew may be one of the best general managers of all time now? Are you kidding me? You just went 4-12 this year. You went 4-12. You gotta fire him. Fire them all. Jim Schwartz has to go.
No.
Martin Mayhew's gotta go.
Okay.
Heck, even the whole offensive line's gotta go.
You gotta be kidding me.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, you
How
look
about
at it here,
he
you
has to
need a
go?
new secondary. They need a new batch of linebackers. They create a discipline code for these guys.
What about Chris Houston?
Tell me about it. They need a discipline code. Put a cop right next to them in case they violate the law. And you're letting us go. You're a disgrace. 17.
Please.
Please, 17.
Thank you.
It benefits our Lions fans. Please sell the team.
Do we need to get paper bags?
And get paper bags. Okay.
Wow.
Feel your pain, man.
Do you want a paper bag?
Yeah.
Maybe
You
next
want a
show.
paper bag.
Maybe next show we'll do all Lions and we'll wear paper bags.
Let's do that.
How about that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, that was good, guys.
Mhm.
Both good jobs. Anything else?
Well,
you need to let the blood flow
yeah,
back
you
through
need
your
to
body.
Well, my call out, I don't know, weird as it was.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Too
weird. Also,
Too weird.
also, I love 06 Pride. Love my
06?
class.
06 chicks,
Yeah.
right? Huh?
I love
Right?
I love my class.
06 chicks?
I love my class.
Love
All
my
right.
class.
Love my class.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of class here, the three of us. I know that.
Not until spring.
Okay.
geez.
Spring we got no class.
All right.
Oh, geez.
Well, I think that'll about do it for the first episode of 2013.
Mm-hmm. Happy 2013. Happy 2013, everyone.
Yeah, you too.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Nah.
Come on.
Not today.
Come on.
Nah, not today.
All right. Well,
Bye, everyone.
goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.